Jean Hanlon moved away from her home in Scotland for a new life in Crete. But 10 years ago, the 53-year-old was found dead off the island's coast.
Well, Greek authorities ruled Jean's death was an accident, but her family believes she may have been murdered. Today, they're going to launch a public appeal for information. Jean's son, Michael Porter, joins us now from Crete. Morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is many years since this happened, but you've got more information, haven't you?
Yes, it's been 10 years this year since the disappearance and death of our mother here in Crete. And yes, thanks to a Channel 5 documentary, some new information and a lead has come which has reopened the case.
And just give us an idea of what new information they have.
The new information is a source of mixed old suspicions with new ones, which basically gives a very detailed line of events of what actually potentially happened to our mother that night, Monday the 9th of March.
And what seems to have, well, what information there is that there were injuries that might not have happened consistent with somebody falling into the water, is that right?
This is correct. Initially, the coroner decreed our mother's death as a drowning accident. Sadly, on identifying our mother's body, we could see that this wasn't correct, which we fought and appealed for a few years, to which they then released some secondary findings from the initial post-mortem, which suggested that and proved that our mum actually had a broken neck, shattered lung and coccyx.
Right, OK. And just tell us a little bit about what she was doing in Crete. She'd been there for a while, hadn't she?
Yes, our mum moved over here a few years before, and she'd been working there three years consecutively in the Gouvies in Crete. And she was working in family taverners and bars, anywhere really she was surrounded by people, because our mum was very much a people's person.
And how much more information do you have about, you know, her last movements and where she was?
Luckily for us and the family, we had a substantial amount of evidence of what she had done in her last movements, almost so that it gave us them suspicions to question everything that the Greek authorities initially decreeing her death as a drowning accident that we could fight against and contest for the years. We know that she was apparently with someone here in the port of Heraklion, with someone because she spoke to a friend, messaging help, and then later on saying that, you know, trying to phone her friend and her friend didn't answer. So we knew there was a lot of suspicions, because this man has still not been found or come forward to this day. OK,
so you're talking about it now. You're appealing, aren't you, for more information. What kind of things would you ask people to do?
We're asking the public and anybody here in Crete, you know, do you remember this woman? Were you with her? Did you see who she was with that night? No matter how small or insignificant you think that evidence or information may be, please come forward and contact the number that I've put on all the public appeal coverage, and just get in contact with us, because someone's done it after 10 years, and that means that our hopes have been achieved, and that actually people out there still know something what happened to our mum that night.
And are you optimistic you will eventually, at some stage, find the answers?
We're very hopeful, you know. You don't go into this light-heartedly. You fight and you fight, and I've always vowed, as well as the rest of the family, I'll fight until my dying day. The case has been reopened before, and it's also been closed, so we're not fools to think that within a heartbeat they can easily close the case again. However, last week I wrote a letter along with the Foreign Common Office saying, you know, there is extensive amount of unanswered questions that you have not investigated. So if this new lead falls through, then please look at all them other unanswered questions and do not close the case until you have exhausted every eventuality.
OK, Michael Porter, I really appreciate your time. Thank you very much for joining us live there from Crete, talking about his mother.
Thank you so much.